We lost Bill Zardo Sr. late last year. And as we race tonight to honor his name and his memory, we can't help but realize that he lives on in the family he's left behind. They'll greatly miss the love, the attention, the skills, and the knowledge that he always had for them, passed on to them, and worked with them. Nothing gave Bill more pleasure than working alongside his son and daughter, Billy and Sharon, and later his grandsons, as they carried on in the sport Bill so loved. Bill Zardo became known as the Z-Man in his familiar number 46. Whether it was a super late model, a cast car, or an ACT car, he competed alongside a couple of other well-known racing names, Junior Hanley, Don Biederman, guys like them. And Bill earned the respect of those guys along with his fellow competitors. Bill was always willing to lend a hand or some advice, and if you needed something, all you had to do was ask. The Z-Man's legacy lives on in his grandsons, Lane and Billy, who carry his family name. His other grandsons, Petey Shepard, Scott Nagel, also a part of the Zardo racing legacy. Here at Flamboro Speedway and at tracks across Ontario and far, far beyond. Tonight, as we honor the memory of Bill Zardo Sr., we can only pause a moment to say thanks for the help, the support, the love, and the memories you've left, not only with your family, but with all of us as well. Back in the 1990s, Bill Zardo Sr. was one of the best-known names on the ACT, the American Canadian Tour, racing in Ontario, Quebec, and the northeastern United States. He was a great example and an ambassador of Canadian racers, both on and off the racetrack. NASCAR's Dave Moody was then the announcer for the act. He was only too willing to share his thoughts about the loss of the Z-Man.
Bill Zardo was absolutely one of a kind. He had that gruff exterior that at first glance made you think that he was a tough guy. I mean, a rough customer, the kind of guy you didn't want to mess with. And on the racetrack, he was absolutely not somebody that you wanted to chop going into turn 4. It would end badly. But just underneath that titanium exterior of his, Big Z was about as soft as a feather pillow. I don't know how many times over my years and his with ACT that I saw his race car sitting in the pits on jack stands unattended while he worked on somebody else's car or offered advice to a fellow competitor who was struggling a little bit in practice. We traveled a lot of miles together back then, did a lot of close quarters racing, really intense stuff, and through it all, I honestly cannot remember anybody having anything bad to say about Bill Zardo. Whenever I went to Martinsville Speedway in recent years to do my job with the Motor Racing Network, I always knew that at some point during the weekend, Bill was going to come knocking on the door to our trailer, want to touch base and shoot the bull for a few minutes and offer me a cold beer, even though he knew that I was working and couldn't accept it. I can tell you that I will miss those knocks on the door. He and Gail were absolutely inseparable. They had the kind of relationship that the rest of us could only look at and admire. It's somehow fitting that one of his last tasks in life was making sure that Gail had her dinner and was settled in and happy. As sad as I am over their loss, it helps to know that they're together again looking after each other. Bill left quite a resume of on-track accomplishments, but as good a racer as he was, and he was a really good racer, his greatest legacy, in my opinion, is his family. Those second and third generation racers, wives and husbands and kids and grandkids who were all brought up doing things a certain way, the proper way, the right way, because it was Big Z's way. That's an amazing legacy to leave behind. Rest in peace, buddy, and thank you for allowing me to be your friend.
And I know Bill Zardo would be calling all this sentimentality, well, I'm not going to use his words because we have family here tonight, but let's say he'd call it enough. let's get some racing in. So here we go with a 46-lap hot rod feature race, the Bill Zardo Memorial.
And Kevin Small, Flamboro Speedway announcer, what do you say you give us the starting lineup, my friend?
We are ready to go for the Bill Zardo Senior Memorial, and here's how they're going to line up. Starting on the pole from Exeter, Ontario, in the Camaro Depot sponsored machine, it's the 93 of Jerry Broom. Starting in second from Cambridge, Ontario, in the Lafarge sponsored entry, it's the 64 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. Starting in third from Orillia, Ontario, in the Bromley Automotive sponsored machine, it's the 6 car of Rob Bromley. Starting in fourth from Brantford, Ontario, in the Lafarge sponsored entry, it's the 47 of Steve Book. Starting in fifth from Oro Medante in the Fox's Bakery and Deli sponsored machine is the 2 of Tyler Hahn. Starting in sixth from Kitchener, Ontario in the Port Elgin CarQuest Auto Parts sponsored machine, it's the 9 of Cole Weber. Starting in seventh from Brussels, Ontario in the Leslie Motors sponsored machine, it's the 26 of Dalen Martin. Starting in eighth from Ulmer, Ontario in the Landshark Group sponsored machine, it's the 58 of Jeremy Taggart. Starting in ninth in car number 06, it's Kyle Woods. Starting in 10th from Teeswater, Ontario in the Johns Towing sponsored machine, it's the 86 of Nick Clark. Starting in 11th from Beaverton, Ontario in the SGH Mortgages sponsored machine, it's the 40 of Donnie Beatty. Starting in 12th from West Lorne, Ontario in the St. Mary's Home Building Center sponsored machine, it's the 15 of Dave Evanson Sr. Starting 13th in the DG Pete Roofing sponsored machine from Allenford, Ontario, it's the 22 of Nick Holman. Starting 14th from Woodstock, Ontario in the Buttersworth Service Center sponsored entry, it's the 48 of Connor Ellis. Starting 15th from Port Perry, Ontario in the KCM Metals sponsored entry, it's the 13 of Ryan Cohen. Starting 16th from North Bay, Ontario in the TSS Top Shop sponsored entry, it's the 88 of Jeremy McLean. Starting 17th from Mount Forest in the Johns Towing sponsored entry, it's the 0 of Bill Clark. 18th will be the 21 of Dan Rothwell. 19th will be the 17 of Matt Spry. And rounding out this 20-car field, the 00 of Trevor Thompson.
Awesome job there, Kevin. Here we go, everybody. The Bill Zardo Memorial is underway.
And it's not going to take long for the 93 of Jerry Broom to try to get out front. He is going to be frustrated by the 64 of J.R. Fitzpatrick, as Fitzpatrick down the back straight away into the lead as he comes to turn 4.
Side by side at the front of the field, but lap number 1 will go to that 64 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. He's going to lead the field of Nightworks OSCAAR Hot Rods. Right behind him as they're 2x2 for 3 rows deep as they head down into turn 3.
They're starting to mix it up now in that top group. 93 of Broom almost got sideways. They're 3 wide behind him. The number 2 machine of Tyler Hahn on the bottom, and the 6 of Rob Bromley got stuck in the middle. He was the sandwich. Everybody got out safely, but now we've got a car slowing down off the pace in turn number 3.
That is Dalen Martin on the high side of turn number 3-4 as the caution flag flies out. There was 3 wide, and I believe the 26 paid the price. He may have a flat. I'm not sure.
And it looks like the 6 of Rob Bromley. He's in the pit gate. Looks like he's trying to get off.
Yeah, problems for both of those racing machines as they were in that 3-car battle, 3 wide all the way down the front straightaway. There was big contact between the 26 and the 6 car just before the start-finish line, and they were still contact all the way through turns 1 and 2, and I think the 26 of Dalen Martin got the outside of that turn 2 wall. Like I said, it comes up quick here at Flamboro Speedway, so we'll see if that car continue on, as well as the 6 of Rob Bromley.
And if you're just tuned in, I got to let you know here, there was a challenge and an extra $600 put up by the Shepherds, the Zardos, and the 00 car has taken that challenge and went to the rear of this huge field of OSCAAR Hot Rods here tonight. The 00 is at the back. He's got time. Can he make it all the way through? And can he pick up that extra $600 offered up by the family? Awesome to see. You got to know that if Billy Z was here right now, he'd be the guy taking the challenge and trying to go to the front and win himself another race.
Yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting for the fans to watch that 00 of Trevor Thompson try to work his way through the field. Thompson coming from the back in that Thompson's Auto Tech sponsored entry, so we'll see if he can pick him up and put him down here. So far, he's only got one car in the books, but with a couple cars coming off the track, he's going to pick up a couple more spots, so you never know. Sooner than later, he'll find his way to the front of the field, so keep an eye on that 00 of Trevor Thompson.
You know, J.R. Fitzpatrick's going to be tough when he's out front, but does the car have the lastability in it to stay out there? You know that 00 car is a rocket. It will come through the field. And, oh, we can't forget about Bookie up there in the 47 or the 9 of Cole Weber, the 2, the 93. Man, so many good cars, Jerry.
And, you know, I feel bad for Trevor Thompson. The first couple of cars you pick up aren't too tough. But after that, it gets harder. Every time you pick up one more spot, it gets tougher to get the next one. Because as you just mentioned, once he gets to the top 5, he's got some real tough guys to get around. When you start looking at Tyler Hahn and Cole Weber, Steve Book, J.R. Fitzpatrick, he's got the tough guys at the end when he's going to be running out of time.
Well, and that's when he pulls out his little Bible that he's got in his back pocket and starts praying for a caution when he gets up there. He's going to need some help.
If they had spotters, I'm sure they'd be cutting deals.
Absolutely. As the starter indicates to the drivers, get them doubled up, boys. Just about time to go back under the green. And look at that, Kev. We have got headlights on the 88.
I was just going to say, the headlights on the 88 of Jeremy McLean, that's a nice welcome sight. I know the underglow in the Ontario Pro Challenge adds 15 horsepower, so headlights, I don't know, what are you thinking, 20, 25 horsepower maybe? Who knows?
We're going to find out here real soon. As the field is all formed up behind that beautiful Bennett Chevrolet pickup truck. You want one of them? Bennett's got a bunch of them. Get a good deal. Speaking of good deals, I'm going to need a good deal on my vehicle. Mine just bit the dust early this morning.
That's never a good sign.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but look at the choice vehicle you got to drive in its place.
Yeah. A full tank of fuel from Owen Sound to Flamboro Speedway. As the pace truck hits pit road, here they come. Doubled up, Kev.
Green flag is down. Here we go. It's J.R. Fitzpatrick and Steve Brook on that front row. They're door to door as they come out of turn number 2 down the back straight. And it looks like Steve Brook's got the edge. J.R. Fitzpatrick fighting back. They are still door to door as they come out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. Fitzpatrick gets the nose just in front.
Fitzpatrick will lead that lap. The 47 of Steve Brook, that's his car underneath him, so you know he wants to be careful, but you know J.R. Fitzpatrick is going to get everything he can out of that 64 machine as they are still side by side. Once again, the edge will go to the 64 of J.R. Fitzpatrick as they are still side by side as we work lap number 4.
Tyler Liscombe in the number 2 going to work on the 9 of Cole Weber. Those front 4 throttle blanket, you got them all covered. That's how tight they are together. But it is still J.R. Fitzpatrick up front. Cole Weber drops down low now. He puts the 47 of Steve Brook up to the high side.
Dalen Martin had to go to the pits. He is back on the racetrack. And I'll tell you what, guys, he's driving possessed. He is coming.
The front 5 are now running as a freight train, literally hooked together as they go down the back straightaway. And then there's a small gap to the back of the rest of the field. But J.R. Fitzpatrick works his way out in front. The 9 of Cole Weber running second. Tyler Liscombe has the 2 car up into third. Then the 47 of Steve Brook, the 93 of Jerry Broom.
Racing all over the speedway. As you mentioned, Joe, that 26 of Dalen Martin, he is coming through the field in a hurry. Bottom, top, it doesn't matter. That 26 machine is sticking each way he puts it, as now he's worked his way up into the 9th position, all the way from the back to 9th in about 4 laps. So keep an eye on that 26 as he is really flying through this field.
J.R. Fitzpatrick continues to lead, but oh no, he hasn't got much of a lead. I'm talking maybe a bumper or two. Back to Cole Weaver in the 9 car. And look at this, Tyler Hahn in the 2. He has got that 2 machine flying. Steve Buck is back in the 4th spot. Back to him in the 93.
And the driver on the move, he's just outside the top 10. Now the 00, Trevor Thompson. Remember, he took the challenge to go to the back. He is slowly working his way up. He is now in the top 10. J.R. Fitzpatrick feeling a little pressure. Here comes the 9 of Cole Weaver. Weaver gets underneath. J.R. Fitzpatrick on the high side of the racetrack is back to 2nd. Tyler Liscombe in the 2 car. On the bottom, working along with the 9 of Cole Weaver. And all of a sudden, J.R. Fitzpatrick finds himself going from the lead to 3rd position.
Racing all over the speedway here as we continue to tick off laps. I just got word from President Dave Ganforth here of OSCAAR. The 8th place running car on lap number 8 was the car number 40 of Donnie Beatty. He's going to go home with $460 courtesy of the Stoner family. So huge payout there for the 40 car of Donnie Beatty, being in the right place at the right time as the action continues to pick up on the speedway.
How about the run the 9 of Cole Weaver's having? He's got lots of company, though. That number 2 of Tyler Hahn is glued to his bumper. Any mistake out of Cole, and I'm telling you, the 2 is going to shoot on 5.
They've got some heavy lap traffic in front of them. With a 20-car field, you're bound to find lap traffic quickly here as now they've caught the tail end of the field. The 9 of Cole Weaver is going to work around the 0 car of Bill Clark. Clark's going to stay to the bottom, but Tyler Hahn in that 2 car is keeping the 9 of Cole Weaver honest as they continue to work lap number 17 here and put more cars 1 lap down.
Those front 2 cars look like they're chained together right now because Cole Weaver and the number 2 of Tyler Hahn, they are not separating at all. If one goes high, the other one goes with them. If they go low, they go back down the track together. They are working through the slower traffic, and that seems to be it. But, caution once again.
Yeah, caution came out. We got the 0 spun around down in turns number 3, 4. He gets it righted, and will rejoin this field. And I'll tell you, those guys that are running in that top 4 or 5 spots, they can all now take a breath because I guarantee they haven't been breathing inside those race cars. What I find just hilarious, you guys, is when this OSCAAR Hot Rod Series all started up, I can remember hearing some people say, oh yeah, I love the look of the cars, I love the retro look, but they don't race. Their cars look great, but they don't race. They're just out. Everybody's sort of satisfied. They're all friends, and these guys don't race. Tell me this isn't the best racing that, we've seen. And that's what the Hot Rod Series is. It has developed into a dynamite racing series, and they continue to do it here again tonight at Flamboro Speedway.
The Hot Rods always put on a great show, especially here at Flamboro. Multiple races here last year, up and down racing all throughout the fields. And it was great to see because, like you said, Joe, these drivers, with these beautiful looking cars, sometimes you don't think they're going to race, but man, do they ever get after it behind the wheel. As soon as they strap that helmet on, all bets are off and everything goes. It's drive to the front. That's the only thing that matters at that point in time.
I've been at New Smyrna Speedway throughout Speed Weeks, and anybody that has, you'll be able to back me up on this. They have a vintage class that comes in. They are kind of like the vintage modifieds, but there are some models, like what we're seeing here in the Hot Rod class. Those guys do not race. They are out there putting on a show, but they're really not going like open like these guys here are. Just the Hot Rod Series, I absolutely love it. It is one of the most entertaining series that we've got here in Canada, not just Ontario. in Canada. And on the east coast of Canada, they're called the Heart of a Champion. And they started up after they seen the success of the hot rods. And I'll tell you what, their fields are all growing out there on Canada's east coast. Looks a lot like these guys, I can tell you that. And this is going to be a barn burner finish. I don't know who's going to win this one, Jerry.
I'm not sure. There's a lot of good drivers in this one. I got to say, though, that headlights on that number 88, they're kind of freaking me out. I'm thinking, what would happen if you did that in your late model?
And Dalen Martin, just by the way, is up to 5th.
Here we come down the front straightaway. Green flag in the air. We're back to racing. Tyler Hahn in the number 2, doing it on the high side, trying to get around the 9 of Cole Weber. He's not going to be able to pull it off. Weber to the lead. Here comes Hahn again on the outside. No go. He'll pull in behind the 9 of Weber. We give him a little push down the front straightaway. Then the 47 is Steve Brook. The 26, Dalen Martins. J.R. Fitzpatrick in that 64 rounds out the top 5. The 93 of Jeremy Broom is running in 6th. Up to 7th, the 00, Trevor Thompson, the guy chasing the bonus money.
Thompson all the way up into that 7th position, running for that extra $600 if he can find victory lane, $400 if he can go to 2nd, and $200 for 3rd. So keep an eye on that 00 here, as now they've caught some of the quicker cars at the front of the field as they work lap number 20. We are picking them up and putting them down here in the Nightworks OSCAAR Hot Rod Series season opener here at Flamboro Speedway. The 9 of Cole Weber still leads. 2nd, that 2 of Tyler Hahn is right behind that rear decklet of the 9 car as they turn back down into turn number 1.
21 laps complete in tonight's 46th lap. Bill Zardo Memorial for the OSCAAR Hot Rods.
Fields really kind of started to string themselves out here. We see little pockets of racing action all over the speedway. Some drivers trying a high line, some going a little bit lower. But there is action all over the speedway, especially with a 20-car field. You can basically look at one spot of the racetrack and focus your point and see action all the way around this racetrack.
Now, Jerry, is the 9 and the 2 car using up too much tire for this stage of the race? And is Steve Book and Dalen Martin sitting back in that 3rd and 4th spot? I know they're racing side by side, but are they using the same amount of tire as the 2 guys up front?
My guess is we'll find out in about 5 laps, because when they get down to that last 15 or 20 to go, it's going to tell the tale, because if they've been holding it, they're going to turn it loose. Right now, I'm beginning to think that Cole Weber in the 9 and Tyler Hahn in that number 2, they may be using up a lot of race car, and they're going to need it, as those J.R. Fitzpatrick, as we all know, is one of the guys really good at saving his equipment until he needs it. Keep an eye on that 64. He's not that far away from the lead.
Caution is on the speedway here as there were some problems coming off of turn 2. The 13 of Ryan Cohen and the 88 of Jeremy McLean get together. Caution flag will fly here on lap number 25. We still got lots of racing to go here as they work lap 25. Cole Weber and Tyler Hahn were hooked together that entire run, so we'll see if anybody saved those tires, because now this is going to be that restart that they're looking for.
Yeah, and Thompson, here, I believe his prayer just got answered. He got a caution, and that's what he's going to need to get some of that real estate back. And he's been doing a great job. Started dead last, and look at him. What is he, 6th? Something like that?
Yeah, he's worked his way up, I think, up to 7th now. Yeah, 7th place. So that 00 of Trevor Thompson. The one I'm really keeping an eye on, that 26 of Dalen Martin. He started up front. He went to the back after being involved in that first caution early on. He has worked his way all the way back up to that 3rd position, and he is looking to not stop. That car has been on rails. He went high, low. Now he's worked himself up into the 3rd spot, right behind the 2 of Tyler Hahn and the 9 of Cole Weber, but he's going to be one I want to pay attention to on this restart here with just about 20 laps to go here.
2 years ago, Dalen Martin had a 2nd car. His dad would jump in and drive it. And I want to say that it was either a Ford Fairlane or something like that. And, yeah, I talked to a young driver at Sunset Speedway when they were running a Zardo Memorial. And that young driver had bought that second car from Dalen Martin. And I'll tell you what, he was brand new. He was learning how to drive. He was learning everything. But talk about a guy that was having a blast. The young kid really was having a good time.
I know that a lot of people have jumped into these OSCAAR hot rods, and the one thing that they say, because they're these old body stock cars, is that the front end of these race cars stick out a long ways. A long ways. There's a couple of them that have little shorter wheelbases, but usually the front nose on these race cars stick way out there. So for somebody that's driven, late models or modified, something like that before, they jump into these things and like, holy smokes, I'm driving a bus. So somebody that has no racing experience, brand new, jumps in, thinks this is the way to go. Tends to be pretty quick here in these OSCAAR hot rod division.
Now, these cars have to be pre-1974, I do believe, is the age bracket. And I know Dave Gainforth, the president of OSCAAR, is hard on them. He wants to make sure that the cars look like they should, and he doesn't want them all radicalized and modified out where the fan can't look at it and say, oh, that's an old Chevelle, or that's an old Camaro, Mustang, whatever. He wants the identifiability to it, and he's done a great job with this series. He's keeping a lid on it. Not all of them are a stock frame that, you would think that these guys are running around with, a stock frame under them. Not all of them are like that. You're allowed a tube chassis. You're allowed an offset if you want, but the body has to look correct.
And you know what's fun about the body styles? Those flat front noses. That's what a race car should look like. When you get a little contact into the back end of somebody, you can actually give them a push. You don't lift them up in the air.
Well said.
I remember when Dave started this idea, they had 5 or 6 cars, and everyone said, oh, this is never going to work. Well, look at this. We've got 20 cars prepped, race ready to go. We were part of the OSCAAR series back then with the McLean family, and we saw the first race. It was a great race, and now look at them here. We got 20 cars with 21 laps to go. Dave can't be any, he's got to be smiling sitting over in the race director booth.
I'll tell you, there's a lot more that are out there, too. They're not all here tonight, but dynamite job. Green flag back out, guys. We are on lap 25.
Here we go down into turns 1 and 2. Cole Weber going to pick it up and go down the back straightaway, the 26. So Dalen Martin right on his back bumper. Tyler Hahn is on the outside in the number 2. Cole Weber gets that lead. He's all alone. Here comes Martin's a little tag with the 2 of Hahn. Everybody's good, but those front 3, nose to tail.
Martin in that 26 car, he has made sure, as they say, he's used the chrome horn a few times to work his way through the field. He got around the 2 of Tyler Hahn. Now he sets his sights on the 9 of Cole Weber as they head down into turn 1 and 2. Martin within a half car length as they flash down the back straightaway.
Guys, you'll remember earlier tonight when we had the Pro Late models on the racetrack, Billy Schwarzenberg was running like second or third. He happened to get to the outside, and he dropped like a stone and went all the way back to like 6th spot. You don't see that with these cars. You can get to the outside and either stay there. Whoa, I see a bunch of sparks on the back. Maybe somebody just tapped the wall. Everybody's still going. But it was like the kiss of death for Billy. You don't see that in the hot rods.
No, the hot rods tend to use those big tires that they've got planted underneath of them. They're really able to use that middle to high line to kind of drive off the corners. And you can see that's what the 26 of Dalen Martin is trying to do. He is using that top line to set up the apex of the corner and really try to drive off the bottom.
And we're gonna get a caution flag here. The number 2 of Tyler Hahn is up against the fence in turn number 1. He came out of 4, and we can see the sparks under the car. I'm not sure if it's a tire or something else underneath. He's going to drive away, but he's headed to the pit.
There's also a stop car on the back straightaway, too. That's the 0 of Bill Clark. Not sure if those two were connected at all, but the 0 machine, that car looks like it made heavy contact with the middle of the back straightaway wall just as the caution flag was coming out. So we'll see how those cars are able to get repaired and refired off here as we've got 29 laps in the books. closing in on those final few laps.
Oh, yeah. This is where the pay window opens up. I thought the zero, Jerry, was actually stuck on the wall back there. You had to back up a little bit to make forward progress.
Well, the wheels were definitely turned to the right. And that's why he couldn't get off the wall. He had to turn them to the left. So I think when he hit the wall, it pulled the wheel in on him. But he's off. He's rolling again. We'll see how he does now.
He just ducked off, headed back to the pit area. So maybe that'll answer us right there.
Yeah.
The 2-car definitely had a flat tire. I didn't see him make any contact with the outside wall. I think it was just simply a cut-down tire. He came to rest up in turn number 1 and 2. Caution flag flew, and away went the 2.
That may have done a big favor for Trevor Thompson in that 0-0. He's in 5th spot, and we've still got, what do we got here? Another 15 laps to go? 16, 17? Yeah, 17 to go.
Yeah, and what was it? He had to finish
3rd or better.
Third or better. Yeah, so when you look at that, Kev, he's got to pick up those 2 guys ahead of him.
That should be easy, right? Getting by J.R. Fitzpatrick and Steve Book.
Oh, yeah. 2 of the easiest cars on the track.
Easy peasy, right?
If they're stopped.
Well, if they want you to go by, it'll be no problem.
That's right. Yeah, he's going to use that. He's going to be on the bottom here for this restart. He's been stuck on the outside a few times here. So keep an eye on that 0-0 of Trevor Thompson as he's looking to send that car into the top 3 to pick up a little extra cash, which never hurts to have a little extra jingle in your pocket coming home from the racetrack.
You know, in football, it's a game of inches. Here, it's not a game of inches. It's length and width.
Field is doubled up here. The white flag is going to fly. We're going to be going back racing next time around. The lights are off in the Bennett GM Chevrolet Pace truck.
Any sign of the 2 yet, gentlemen? I'm not seeing no 2 yet.
Keep an eye on the turn 4 gate.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to make it.
I see a 0. 0 is going to be held at turn 4. The Bennett Pace truck hits pit road. And the field comes back full song, Jerry, to the green flag.
And it's not going to take long. Dalen Martin in that number 26 to the outside of the racetrack, trying to get around the 9 of Cole Weber. He's got the nose in front as he comes down to turn number 3. As a exit number 4 corner, Cole Weber with the advantage. Weber back to the lead. And Martins will quickly drop down inside. Steve Book puts the 47 into 3rd spot. Trevor Thompson, the 0-0, now running in 4th. He is 1 position away from the money.
Thompson looking to see if he can close in on those drivers just ahead of them. The action is going to pick up, so he's going to want to make sure he's got his eyes peeled forward as we get a battle for the lead down the back straightaway. The 26 of Martin to the inside of Cole Weber through turns 3 and 4.
Just 50 circuits left, and they are side by side and sideways, Jerry.
They were tapping on each other trying to stay straight, I'm sure of it. Now they're going to do the crossover move. Martin goes to the outside, Weber to the inside, but it's Martins with the lead as they come into turn 4. Weber on the bottom trying to race him down the front straightaway. Martins on the outside, and now they're door to door as they come into turn 1 and 2. Side by side, out of 2 down the back straightaway. Martins will fall back into 2nd. Weber back out in front. Steve Book in the 47. He's just watching it all happen in front of him.
The leaders are going to have some lap traffic just in front of them. Here is the 0 of Bill Clark and the 21 of Dan Rothwell. We'll see if they can stay out of the way here as we continue on. Martin maybe looking to the inside, but no. The pick of the 0 car of Bill Clark was used to the 9 of Cole Weber's advantage. Weber still holds on to about a 1.5, now almost a 2 car length lead as they flash back into turn number 1.
And that 0 car could be in trouble. There's a trail of blue smoke coming out of the back of that one. Somebody's going to need a clean windshield if they've been following him for any time.
Yeah, there'll be a little bit of blue smoke coming out from the helmet of the 26, too. He had to stab the brakes there. He was going to make a move on the 9. And the 0 car was about half throttle and took the 26 by surprise. 37 laps complete of this 46th lap, Bill Zardo Memorial. Billy, we're missing you.
I'm sure Bill Zardo Sr. looking down, saying he would have been out front all the way so far, but as of right now, the 9 of Cole Weber continues to lead. One heck of a show these OSCAAR hot rods are putting on. We've got a car slow on the top side in 1 and 2. That's the 22 of Nick Holman. He's going to stay up out of the way and bring that car hopefully down into the garage, and he will. We're going to stay green here on lap 38 as Cole Weber still leads by half a nose over the 26 of Dalen Martin.
The 47 of Steve Book is about 3 car lengths behind those two, and then about 10 car lengths back to the 00 of Trevor Thompson. Thompson is going to have to really turn on the afterburner if he's going to catch the 47 of Book and get into that money position. Right now, he is so close, and he can taste it, but he can't get there.
I think Steve Book, Kevin, is just letting those sneakers cool down, and he'll take one last good run at these two up front, because you got to know the front two guys, they're using everything they've got.
Those front two guys, the action is picking up here very, very quickly, so they are all over the racetrack. And Steve Book in that 47 car, he is just keeping an eye. If there's anything happen, he's going to be there to pounce and pick up this top spot here as we see the 5 to go. Now we work on 42 laps, so 44 laps to go here for the Bill Zardo Memorial for the OSCAAR Hot Rods.
Down the back straightaway once again, Cole Weaver on the outside as they work around another of those lap cars. This one, the 06 of Kyle Woods. They get around him safely. And now they've got a little bit of open racetrack to turn it up. But, man, they are going to use up everything they've got trying to hold on to that lead. Steve Book in the 47 is there.
2 more laps to go here as the 9 of Cole Weber leads. The battle now is picking up for that second spot. Weber's opened up about a 3-car length lead as he's going to come off of turn 4. White flag is in the air. One more trip around for the 9 of Cole Weber.
Jerry, bring us home. Here we go.
Out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, the number 9, Cole Weber, leads by a dozen car lengths as the 26 of Dalen Martin's, the 47 of Steve Book, still trying to settle out that second, third, but Cole Weber picks up the checkered flag. Behind him, Dalen Martin's, the 47 of Steve Book, the 00 of Trevor Thompson, 1 position out of the money.
What a race here tonight at Flamboro Speedway. What a night, but what a way to cap it with the OSCAAR Hot Rods Bill Zardo Memorial. That, my friends, is a dynamite race.
These OSCAAR Hot Rods always put on a heck of a show here, and they were battling from first on back to 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. What a race. Here is Cole Weber in the 9 car, picks up the win in Quick Victory Lane, and that's going to be a happy bunch here, picking up the Bill Zardo Senior Memorial Trophy here tonight at Flamboro Speedway. One heck of a show for the Nightworks OSCAAR Hot Rods.
Let's go get your money's worth right there, race fans. That was dynamite. Good job. Don't forget, racing again next Saturday night right here at Flamboro Speedway. But, Jerry, we're going to throw it down to you. I bet you can feel the heat off that 9 car from where you're standing.
I think I could fry a burger right about now. There is a lot of heat coming off that car. We talked about him using it up. We'll find out in just a moment how used up the driver is from doing this one.
Dalen Martin, so close tonight. And same thing with Steve Book. Just dynamite runs. And the 00 of Thompson, so close. There you go, Jer.
Out of the car. Looks like a pretty weary guy. Cole Weber, you put on a show, man, but I think you used up a lot of race car tonight.
Yeah, we used a lot at the end there. I think I was out of tire. We didn't have much tires. We were having to switch them through the heats in practice just to even have enough to try to make a shot at the end there. But it's a good car. It had pretty good long run speed there. Can't thank the guys enough. Chuck Lawler, Dale Barton. The only reason the car is here is because Chuck, he comes down and works on it. I always tell him I'm too busy, and he's like, can you make it there Saturday? And I'm like, yeah, I can. And he gets it ready. So he's the man that does it. I got to thank my wife, my mom and dad, my kids. They're up here. It's great. It's 3 in a row at Flamboro. I love this place.
It's the Bill Zardo Memorial Night, and I know you've raced against Bill. It must have been fun.
Yeah, it's kind of an honor to be out with a legend like he was. I only ran a select races last year, so I didn't get to see him a lot. We raced with him a bit, and when I did, you would have never known his age. You thought he was 20. So his family's done an awesome job. He'd be looking down, so happy at what they're doing for him, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
So what's up next?
I think Delaware for us, like I said, we're going to run in a select schedule again. We're probably going to do Delaware Flamboros and probably a full throttle.
Lots of action still to come. Congratulations tonight on winning the Bill Zardo Memorial here at Flamboro Speedway.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.